The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, friends. Hi, I'm Stella Mehta, the CEO of Careers and Options, and today we are going to talk about 10 amazing reasons to study in Singapore and Malaysia. Let me first thank all the participants today to take out some good time from their hand on a Saturday afternoon. I hope this session would be beneficial for your future study in Singapore and Malaysia, and hope this seminar benefits you as much as we want to help you out to do your studies abroad. Let's brief a little bit about Careers and Option. Careers and Option started at humble beginning in the year 2009 as a proprietary firm. Careers and Option Gained Private Limited in the year 2012. An Indian non-government company and registered under the Companies Act and listed under the Mumbai, share listing of Mumbai. Careers and Option would be one-stop solution for all your international study needs. Our core activity lies in assisting students to make the right choice with regarding and pursuing their education in overseas in education and institution. Careers and Option will provide you information regarding higher education in various countries like Singapore, Malaysia, U.S., Canada, France, Germany, and so on. Let's talk about our partner Credila, who has helped us today to organize this seminar. Credila is a leading overseas education loan provider. Over 90,000 students has been benefited by Credila till now. Parents and students will get a on-spot approval through Credila. They are phenomenal with their loan delivery process. They are pretty flexible, so whosoever has a dream to pursue their higher study in abroad, Credila would be one partner who would help you to fulfill your dreams. Now friends, let's talk about what we are going to see today is the benefit of studying in Singapore and Malaysia. There are going to be a couple of things that we need to share with you when it comes to countries like Singapore and Malaysia, which people are not too aware of. So when we say, we always prefer to say think different and think Singapore. Singapore is being ranked #1 student city in 2014 by the QS rating, which you can go and check it through Google. As published by the World Bank Investment, Singapore has around 14,052 MNCs, which is a huge number of MNC where students can go ahead and work after they finish their education. Singapore is being very strategically designed and it has phenomenal economic growth. Now let's talk about the quality of education. All the education system is widely accepted internationally. Any education done in Singapore or Malaysia is accepted internationally. Singapore and Malaysia, both the countries has phenomenal infrastructure. They are high quality living, strong economy, politically stable, shopaholic paradise, people who wants to study and venture out, it's the best place to be there. Culinary delight and a phenomenal lifestyle. Singapore has been the most efficient public transportation system in the world. So if your college or your university is a little far from where you're residing, you will have no issues traveling in and around Singapore. The main thing when it comes to foreign education is about the language. Singapore, all Singaporeans speak English. It's a widely spoken language. Approximately 75% people go ahead and talk in the same language. So there would be no language barrier for a student. Singapore is the world's 4th financial center, which while it has one of the largest port in the top 5 and the busiest in the world. The International Monetary Fund has been rated It's the third highest country in terms of per capita income. These points we are going to go through because we want you to understand that what you can achieve once you finish your education and what kind of growth will this country called Singapore will give you or will benefit you. Let's go to the next point. Now again, affordable fee, we can link it both with Credila as well. Credila will definitely help you to get your course fee and your accommodation reimbursement done. That's of course our channel partner is going to help you with. However, the cost of living and education in Singapore, if you compare to countries like UK, US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, would be pretty low. Affordable living cost as well. Unlike other countries, the living expenditure in Singapore will not put a hole in your pocket or your parents' pocket. Any which ways, Credila will definitely help you with your course fee and your living cost, as I said before. The visa is a very fast process, as we can see it in point number 12. It's a fast-track visa which can be done in 3 to 4 weeks. So the entire process may take approximately from application till visa, depending on the intake date, approximately around 2 to 3 months. Let's go to the next page and we can check here about the weather. We Indians are used to our tropical weather. We do not have extreme hot temperature nor extreme cold. That's the reason we can always tell students to choose a country like Singapore, which has a tropical weather as well. Singapore is the safest city. The government of Singapore has a non-tolerance policy towards drug abuse, ragging in campus, and what I think is you might have not heard any complaints about any racial attack in Singapore till now on any of your leading news channels. The experience gained in Singapore is going to be very beneficial throughout Pan-Asia level. Alright, you're welcome back in India if you want to come back and want to go ahead and start working, because as it said that it's widely accepted all across the globe. So there is no issues. If you have the question back of your mind, what if I come back? So you can come back and join any organization at a very high level. Singapore University, let's talk about the university. The Singapore University has tie-up with various British, American, Australian colleges. So you have via transfer program. A via transfer program is always beneficial for students. Let me explain how. A via transfer program will give you the best of both the worlds. For an example, if you take up a master's program from a UK university, you can do partial program in Singapore and the remaining you can go to UK and complete it, wherein you would get a benefit of both the countries. You would get a degree awarded by the parent university which is located in UK, and again cost-wise it's going to be beneficial for you. Let's talk about a couple of points which we require during the visa processing. Singapore would be one country which would not look for any old funds during the visa, so you do not have to show funding or fund documents are not required. Your tuition fee is going to be paid only after visa, so unlike any other country wherein you pay around 30, 40 or 50% of your tuition fee after your offer letter. Singapore do not believe in those systems. They say once a student gets a visa and there is a confirmation, you can pay your tuition fee only after you get your visa. There is no visa interview as such, as mentioned in point number 19. That's correct. There is no visa interview for to get a student visa for Singapore. However, during application time, there would be university who would like to take a couple of interviews of students. There's a very unique point as we check in point number 20 about Singaporean colleges. There's something called a fee protection scheme that a Singaporean government has gone ahead and enhanced this process to welcome international students. While checking, points for countries like US, Canada, United Kingdom, wherein there are university got shut down and students were really in a position that they have no idea what to do. But Singapore thought that, okay, if this is a scenario and God forbid, not if any certain situation arise in our country, how does the student get benefit? Under the scheme, your entire fee would be protected by the government, and if there's a university or there's a college, there's a point comes where it gets shut down, you would get the portion of the fees unused back in your kitty. So these are a couple of points that we have mentioned to you why you should go ahead and study in a country like Singapore, and I think it's been beneficial for you. Let's switch over now to the next slide and check why we're going to study in Malaysia. What are the various points that is going to be beneficial for you to understand why studying in Malaysia would be a great option. First, again, affordable fee, multiple intake in a university. This is one thing which Malaysia gives and which is very affordable according to students who have various time of results coming out in India. So again, multiple intake, world-class infrastructure, phenomenal university, amazing infrastructure, awesome libraries, and pretty affordable living costs once again. There are students who would get benefits in Malaysia while doing higher education. Let's see how. You would find an international standard and high quality education in Malaysia, which is closely again monitored by the Malaysian Education Ministry. And there is an act which was started in 1996, the Private Higher Education Institution Act, the Malaysian Qualifications Agency Act at 2007. This is one benefit which every international student, not only from India but across the globe, gets once they come and study in a country like Malaysia. Now, this is something very new to Indian students who've never heard about studying in Malaysia, an American degree transfer program. We understand India is a country which aspires to live the American dream, alright. So this is one way wherein undergraduate students would have phenomenal benefits to move out to countries like US and Canada and transfer their credit points from the initial 2 years. That is, you would, as per you know, that America and Canada offers 4 years of graduation program. So the year 1 is known as the freshman and the year 2 known as the sophomore year. You would do the initial 2 years in Malaysian University, take your credit point transfer and move to any top 300 American and Canadian university. Top 300 includes MIT and Yale as well, depending on your credit points. So this is one humongously beneficial point which I think students who wants to pursue undergraduate program in USA should definitely try for, because first thing, there is a guarantee in the visa while getting transfer. Second thing, when you transfer your maximum credit points, you are eligible from 1% to 45.75% of scholarship in the transferred university. Let's move on to the next slide. We are going to talk about again the living cost. As mentioned before, Malaysian living cost is pretty affordable, okay, which can range as low as 12 ringgits, 12,000 ringgits Malaysia, which is around 4,000 USD, which is going to be a yearly expenditure. So you can calculate that according to Indian currency, and it's going to be pretty affordable. So if a student from Bangalore comes to Mumbai to study, their yearly expenditure would be as much as you're going to spend in Malaysia. Isn't that interesting? The second thing is Malaysia, the affordability plus quality education. So over here we're going to get benefits of both the things. Top Malaysian university with an average course fee of 6,000 USD per year approximately. Malaysia has become one of the most popular student destinations across the globe. Every year the number of students and their parents' preference to send students to Malaysian university is growing. Let's do a comparison in the next chart about the living expenditure that we're going to incur in Malaysia, in Singapore and other countries. So we're going to go ahead and talk in comparison of USD. So you can check. There are going to be two expenditure. There are going to be an annual tuition fee, which is in the red block, and annual living expenditure, which is in the yellow block. So just go ahead and compare this. This is a pretty comfortable comparable chart that you can see, which is according to the Washington Accord. Alright. So you can see Malaysia comes first, approximately 6,000 annual tuition fee plus 6,000 living cost. Then comes Singapore, then comes Canada. So you are the best judge to check which would be the better country to be in. Now let's talk about something which Indian students are, they're very, they want to know this again and again. What about part-time work? Malaysia could definitely allow students to do part-time work 20 hours per week during their holiday period. Okay. Malaysia, again, let's go down to the next point of being economically sound. Malaysia is an economically sound and socially safe country which has a stable government and a low rate of crime. Malaysia has a state-oriented and new industrialized market economy. Malaysia has had one of the best economic record in Asia, the third largest economy and the 29th largest in the globe. Alright, so this makes the country pretty stable, wherein after education what student can look after would be the job prospect. Now let's talk about the safety and the security of a student, girl or a boy. Parents are pretty insecure when they want to send their kids abroad. So let's talk about the safety and the security of student who wants to study in Malaysia. According to the record in 2012, Malaysia was ranked 19th most peaceful country out of 153 countries according to the Global Peace Index. After the safety and security, then we're going to try and check out the visa rules of that country. Alright. Do Malaysia requires English language test? No, Malaysia do not, as per, just like Singapore and unlike any other countries, Malaysia also do not require any kind of English language examination or and their medium of instruction would be again English. Do they require any old funds? No, just like Singapore, Malaysia also do not require any old funds. The system that both the countries believe in, when there is no fund required, student would definitely have a question, how come the other countries do require funds and how come these two do not? The simple answer would be, you would pay your tuition fee semester-wise or year-wise. If in this, for an example, you finish your first year, you go and get a promotion to the second year, and if you do not have money to pay to the particular university or institution, you won't be allowed to go ahead and study. So they do not require any funds to be shown for students to come down. They understand the problem that occurs in countries wherein you need to show funds. So that would be one beneficial point for students. Now we're going to talk about the society, about Malaysia as a society in whole. Malaysia is a melting pot of races and religion, where Malays, Indian, Chinese and other ethnic groups live together in peace and harmony. If you see, you would find most of the Indian festivals are also being celebrated in both the countries. Malaysia and Singapore do celebrate Indian festival like Deepavali, they celebrate Muharram, they celebrate other Indian festivals. So Indian kids can feel just like home in that country. I'm sorry. Alright, now let's talk about the immigration process. Malaysia has a hassle-free immigration procedure which enables foreign students with an easy entry to the country. Let's talk about a couple of ranks that we missed out. Malaysia has been ranked world 11th most preferred student destination by UNESCO. That you can go ahead and Google it up. Malaysia also accounts for 2% of international students population per year. In the year 2011, Malaysia was ranked 19th, as we said before, to be one of the most popular student destinations. Now guys, thank you so much for attending this webinar. We will start with the question answer round really soon. You can write down your questions and I will try and go ahead and answer as much as possible. Now, as I said in the beginning again, if you are a person who is looking forward to go for further education abroad, Credila would be one-stop solution. Let's check what they help us with. They help us with easy loan application, doorstep services, so you need not to roam around the bank to get yourself the loan done. They give you phenomenal tax benefits. They can actually provide up to 100% finances. Loan above 20 lakh is also available. If your course fee is a little higher end, you can avail the entire course fee through them. Loan sanction is being done way before admission can be confirmed in a particular university. So you can do a pre-settlement loan before you think which university to go. You can choose a country, take an approximate estimate of that country, and you can go ahead and ask them to sanction the loan. Okay. All right. Okay. Piyush had asked a question. Let me read out the question. Guys, hope you can hear me. What are the entry requirements to study at an educational institution in Singapore? As I've mentioned before during the presentation, the entry requirement would be your transcripts, and your score should be somewhere between 65 to 70% to get into a very good university or a college. As said, you do not require any IELTS or a TOEFL score. However, according to the university, there could be online examination, there could be discussion with the head of the program. That would be the couple of points as in the entry requirement in an institution in Singapore. Now, I get a question from Mr. Gupta. What is the average salary of an engineering graduate from a good Singaporean university? Now, it depends on which university have you gone ahead and approached. Now once you pass out, Singapore has very simple labor laws. Alright. They have something for the middle managerial level called an S-pass. Then they have their E-pass. So anyone who starts at a middle managerial level would get something like an S-pass and can draw a salary between 5,000 to around about 10,000 Singaporean dollars. What sort of master courses are popular in Singapore and Malaysia? This has been a question that's been asked to us. What kind of a master's program? I think almost all master's programs are very high ranked in both the countries, both in Singapore and in Malaysia. However, we would rather suggest students to choose some financial program for Singapore. However, Malaysia would help you with various different programs from literature, art, to pharmacy, IT, engineering. They have almost all kind of master's program available. The next question that we see is, someone asks, I have read about Singaporean student pass. Is there any difference between a Singaporean student pass and a Singaporean student visa? As said during the presentation, that Singapore do not have any visa interview and you get an online visa for Singapore. So a Singapore student would get an online visa, a Singapore student visa from India. Once they reach the destination, that is Singapore, they would go ahead and get a couple of tests done, a medical test done. And after the medical tests are done and everything is perfect, the government will issue them with the Singapore student pass, which is going to be their identity till the time they are in the country. We get a question, which degrees the Singapore colleges offer? Singapore College offers various degrees. They offer degrees from diploma, advanced diploma, undergraduate, postgraduate. They even offer PhDs as well. So Singapore would have a various range in their kitty, so you can offer any kind of programs in Singapore. The next question asked is it advisable to take college accommodation or private accommodation? Alright, that's a pretty nice question that concerns the parents all the time. We always suggest an undergraduate student to stay with the hostel accommodation, that is the college accommodation, till they are acquainted about the country and the place. However, postgraduate student can choose according to their wish what they want to go ahead and take. So there is no obligation for a post-graduation student. It definitely depends on their discretion. The next question that I got would be, is GRE, GMAT required for admission in MS program? An MS in Malaysia would not require a GRE examination. A GMAT is not required for an MS. A GRE examination is not required and to do an MS in Malaysia. However, if you're doing something called a research program in Masters, you have to definitely write it to them and give them a presentation what kind of research you're looking forward to do. In Singapore, there are a couple of universities. The Singapore government universities of course require GRE for the same. However, the non-private universities would again not require any GRE. They would definitely require an SOP or maybe an interview done with the head of the program. The question asked next would be, do I require IELTS or a TOEFL score to apply in any university in Singapore? Now again, there is, depending on which university are you looking forward for. If it's a government university, yes, of course you do. They would have various requirements. If it's a non-government university, no, there is no requirement as such about giving an English language examination as an eligibility. If you've done your education in English, you're good to go. However, sometimes colleges do ask you to provide them with a letter from your, previous, your last education place, that all your program has been conducted in English. All right, there is another question asked by Mr. Piyush. How do I find out which institution offers courses I'm interested in? Now, depends which country you're talking about. You can definitely come down to Careers and Options first to ask that which institution offers which course, and that's why we are sitting here. However, you can definitely go ahead and check the website of those colleges or the institution that can help you. There's always consultants who are sitting there to help you with the same. And let me go ahead and help you with a couple of good institution or colleges for MBA in Singapore. Would be PSB, ERCI, there could be MDIS and JCU. Now let's go to the next question. What is the difference between a public and a private institution? Alright, now let's stick to Singapore first. We'll go to Malaysia for this question a little later. Singapore has a very hand-picked public institution, alright. They're very high ranked globally, like NTU, NUS, SMU, alright. And there is a program from France as well, which is offered by INSET, that you can check as well. However, if you're inclined to study in Singapore, our suggestion to every student would be try and choose an institution which has a 4 years edu trust. Okay, these are a couple of pointers that's been taken care by Singapore government for a better education of international students. So whenever we tell you, we will definitely tell you to pick and choose something like a 4 years edu trust program in Singapore. Alright. There are 2 more questions that's been asked. I'll definitely answer those as well. What is the MBA in Singapore eligibility at any okay. The question I think the person wants to put up is what is the eligibility to do an MBA in a Singapore university? Alright, the eligibility to do MBA program in a very good university like a PSB, let's consider that, okay. You should have a graduation which is around, the score should be between, 58 to around about 65 and above. You should have work experience of at least 2 to 3 years in a relevant field. They would definitely require for your scorecards, you have to write a fantastic SOP, resume with a profile synopsis, which they will definitely require. And again, they will definitely go ahead and ask you to get a certification from your graduation institution to state that you've done the entire program in English. Again, there are a couple of universities or colleges like PSB. They will conduct an online test to help you with some scholarship or a bursary. The next question that's been asked would be by Pooja, and she has asked the question, as a foreign student at the local university or polytechnic with a student pass, can I do part-time work during that time? Alright, I think this question is put enough for Singapore. Now, if you're in a public university, yes, they would allow you 16 hours per week to go ahead and work. However, the private institutions, Singapore legally do not allow you to go ahead and work during the study time. Singapore is a pretty affordable country, alright? So I don't think you need to invest your time in a part-time work because you've not gone to a country to do part-time, you've gone to a particular country for a higher education. Concentrate on that and try and get yourself a job after you pass out. Okay, let me check the second question. How long will the visa process take for a student visa in Singapore? From application till the time of visa, it takes approximately a month and a half to two, depending on the intake. Again, if your intake, for an example, if your intake is in the month of May 2015, if you start the application, of course you get an offer letter and everything right now. And the visa process, your consultant or anyone of us can start maybe a month prior to your intake. Alright. The next question again by Pooja. Does interview requires for student visa? As said earlier, for a student visa in Singapore, you do not need to go through any kind of visa interviews. I think, do we have any more questions? Yes. Okay, Pooja, thanks a ton. Hope this conversation has helped you to go ahead and pick and choose these two countries as your further education destination. If you have any further question, you can definitely get back to Careers and Options. Thank you so much to all of you for your time on a Saturday afternoon. Hope this session has been beneficial for you. It was really interesting to see the question that you sent across. It seems, guys, you're pretty keen and you've understood the entire conversation pretty clearly. Thanks for giving such a lovely time and have a fantastic future ahead. God bless. Bye.